Hi everybody, welcome to Live Blogger. In this series we are designing a responsive image gallery using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Now this is our progress as of now. In this video I'll show you how to design the lightbox. So let's get started. So here in the HTML we can see that we have already created a division with the class of lightbox. So here we can see the division. And in that we have this image division, and in that we have the image, and then we have the title, and we have these buttons over here, and then we also have this options division over here, and in that we have the download button and also the close button. So let's go to our style.css file, and here we have set the display of the lightbox to none in our previous video. So let's remove this line of code and let's start styling this lightbox. So here we can see we have the lightbox being displayed at the bottom of our design. And first of all, let's set the position of this lightbox to fixed, so that even if we scroll down or up, the lightbox will be at the same position. So let's type position and we'll set it to fixed, and we'll set the top position to 0 and the left position to 0. Now let's set the height and the width of the lightbox. So let's set the height to 100 viewport height, which is the 100% height of the screen, and also the width to 100%. Now let's set the height of this img tag to, let's say, 80 viewport height. So let's type image gallery container and lightbox, and in that we have the img tag. So here we'll just type height of 80 viewport height. Now this would look good on a large screen, but when we are on a small screen we want to have a width of less than 100%. So let's go over here and let's add a media query. So let's type @media, and here we'll just type max width of 900 pixels. So if the screen size is less than 900 pixels, then we're going to add these styles. So let's type image gallery container lightbox img, and let's set the width to 90 viewport width. So it will have a width of 90% of the screen. And now we can see that the image has stretched a little bit. So for that we can just type object fit and we'll set it to cover. And now the image has the correct aspect ratio. Now let's go back to the styles of the lightbox over here, and let's add a background color. So let's type background, and here we'll just type RGBA, and we'll type 000, and we'll also have a little bit of opacity. So let's type 0.8, and now we can see that we have this background color over here. And let's also bring this image to the center. So for that let's make this a display of flex. So let's type display of flex, and we'll set the align items to center and justify content to the center. And now the image is in the center. Now let's add some border radius to this img tag. So let's type border radius, and we'll set it to 10 pixels. Now we have these rounded corners, and we'll also add a border of 10 pixels solid white. Now let's style the title of the lightbox. So let's type image gallery lightbox title, and we want to set the title relative to this image right here. So for the image we have to set the position to relative. So let's type image gallery lightbox image, and let's set the position to relative. Right now we can set the position of the title to absolute. So let's type position absolute, and let's add a background color of white, and let's give it a padding of 24 pixels top and bottom and 32 pixels left and right. And we'll set the left position to 32 and the right position to 32, so that it will have this width over here. And we'll also set the bottom position to -6 pixels, and let's also set the font size to 16 pixels, and we'll set the font weight to bold, and we'll also add a border radius of 8 pixels. Now this position looks a little off because of these arrows over here. So when we style these, the position of the title will be fixed. So we basically want it to be a little higher. So now let's style the previous and the next buttons. So let's type image gallery container lightbox next btn, and image gallery container lightbox previous btn. So these are both the classes that we had given for the buttons. So here you can see previous button and the next button. So let's style both of these. So first of all, we'll set the position to absolute, so it will be positioned relative to the image. And let's set the top position to 50%. Now you can see that it is starting from the middle. Now these buttons are not exactly in the center, it starts from the center, so we have to move it 50% of the element. So for that we have to type transform and translate y, and we have to set it to -50%, and now it is exactly in the center. Right now let's set the font size to 24 pixels, and we'll also give it a padding of 8 pixels and 16 pixels, and we'll set the background color to white, and we'll also add a border radius of 8 pixels, and let's also add a box shadow, and we'll set the values to 0, 4 pixels, 16 pixels, -4 pixels, RGBA 0, 0, 0 and 0.4, and we'll also set the cursor to pointer, so when we hover over this we have this pointer. Alright, now let's set the right and the left positions of these buttons. So let's type image gallery container lightbox next button, and we will set the right position to -20 pixels, and we can see that the button is at the right position. Now let's target the previous button, so let's type image gallery container lightbox and previous button, and let's set the left position to -20 pixels, and we can see that both the buttons have the correct positions. Now when we are on a small screen, we will move these buttons inside a little bit. So inside this media query, let's add some styles. So let's type image gallery container lightbox next btn, and we'll set the right position to -10 pixels, and for image gallery container lightbox previous button, and we'll set the left position to -20 pixels. Alright, now let's style the close and the download buttons. So here we can see we have a division with the class of options, and in that we have these two buttons. So for this button we have a class called close button. For this anchor tag also we will add a class. So let's add a class of download button, and let's target these classes. So let's go back to our style.css, and let's target the options first of all. So let's type image gallery container lightbox options, and we'll set the position to fixed, and we'll set it to top 32 pixels and right 32 pixels. We can see that the options are right here at the top right corner, and let's also add background color of white, and let's set the display to flex so that the elements will be one next to the other, and we'll also align items to the center so that they'll be centered vertically, and we'll also set the font size to 28 pixels. Now let's add a padding of 6 pixels top and bottom and 24 pixels left and right, and we'll also add a border radius of 20 pixels. Let's also add a box shadow, so let's type box shadow, and we'll set it to 0, 4 pixels, 16 pixels, -4 pixels, and RGBA 0, 0, 0 and 0.4. Right, now let's have some space between these two icons. So let's target the close button. So I'll just type image gallery container lightbox and close button, and let's set a margin left of 20 pixels, and we'll also set the cursor to pointer. So when we hover over this we have this cursor, and now the last thing we need to do is change the color of this download button. So let's type image gallery container lightbox download btn, and let's set the color to black, and I think the size of the download button is more than this close button. So let's set a font size. So let's type font size, and we'll set it to, let's say, 24 pixels, and that looks alright. And I feel that this previous button is not positioned correctly, so let's scroll down, and here we can see for the previous button we have set the left to -20 pixels. We have to set it to -10 pixels. Alright, that fixes the position, and that's basically it with the styling of the lightbox. So let me just maximize this window. So this is basically how it will look on a large screen, and let's open the responsive version. So let's click on inspect, let's click on this icon, toggle device toolbar, and let's decrease the width of the screen, and we can see that it is completely responsive. So that's basically it with the design of the lightbox. Now in the next video we will add the functionality for these buttons using JavaScript. So that's basically it for this video. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comments below. And if you like this video, please click on the like button and subscribe to this channel to get the latest video updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day.